Vortex started updating their pistol line of optics last year, and right on the heels of the Defender ST, they launched their competition version, the Defender XL, and it is massive. So I'll tell you about it, but I'll show you how it stacks up against like all the other big window optics as of September 2024. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is the Vortex Defender XL, and you know that because it says it on the side of the optic. As per always, I like to tell you how stuff gets to the channel, and today our good friends over at Optics Planet were kind enough to send this in so I could put it through its paces, see what I think, and let you guys know about it. So thank you to them. And as a reminder, you might check out that link in the pinned comment in this video. There's some cool stuff on my website that you might want to know about. But first, a quick shout out to the dads. Guys, I normally have a dad joke for you, but today I was just scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I'm asking you, sound off with your favorite dad joke in the comments because, man, the ones I read today were terrible. I read a lot of them. But I do want to open the video with a question. Like, what is the threshold of quality something has to be before you consider upgrading a piece of gear? In my mind, if something is working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, it takes a lot to unseat something from one of my setups because I think something is objectively better. And I'm just curious what that criteria is for you, because all these like optic companies and gun brands are trying to get us to spend our money, but at what point do you actually make an upgrade? And of course, the one thing I always want you to remember when you watch videos like this is spend your time, not your money, trying to get better. If you work at something every single day, you'll begin to develop mastery, which is its own reward, but you can apply that mindset to pretty much anything that you do and be good at everything. And that's awesome. Real quickly, a quick overview of the Defender XL and a quick walk around it. So on the website right there, they say that it is a $600 MSRP. If checking it out on Optics Planet when I was researching for this video, it's selling for closer to 400 bucks. While 400 bucks is a lot of money for an optic, it's still significantly less than some of the other options that we'll look at in this segment, which is big window competition optics. It uses the forward lens, so there is a bit of a cantilever. This puts the forward lens right over the barrel on this Prodigy, so it smokes the lens pretty bad, which isn't awesome, but it's still usable. But real quickly, if you look at this housing, it is super beefed up with like knurling on the face of it because they want you to use it as a slide racker, which is kind of cool for a competition gun. If you get like a bad reload or something like that, it gets stuck in the chamber and you've got to bash the round out. If you've got a optic and it is good for doing that, you can do it. I wouldn't make it a practice, but it's there when you need it. There is a big button on either side of the optic to adjust brightness. The turrets to adjust windage and elevation can accept a case rim, sort of. Still easier with a screwdriver, but you can make do with a car key or case rim, kind of like a Deltapoint Pro or an SRO, which is all to the good. What gets really interesting about this is the battery door is open by pressing down on this little silver button right here, and it pops open like a Deltapoint Pro. That's a feature that I really like, the little trap door on the Deltapoint Pro. You can lose that little piece, it can fall off the gun, it's not great. In that battery drawer lives a CR2032 battery, which means it can get about 25,000 hours of battery life, which is all to the good. It's got a 10-minute timeout thing where it will go to sleep, but it has shake awake, so it'll wake back up when you pick it up. And in the box, it comes with all the screws that you would need to mount this on pretty much anything, including a Glock MOS plate. Vortex used to not come with the right hardware to mount it on anything. Now it comes with all the hardware to mount it on pretty much everything. So big tip of the hat to Vortex for including everything you need to get going with this optic. The glass is very clear with only a minimal amount of distortion, almost no discoloration, and it has a pretty crisp emitter as well. It's available in two reticle sizes, a 5 MOA and an 8 MOA, both of which are suitable for practical shooting. So it's just a very clean setup. It is quite nice. So real quickly, let's compare it to the Defender ST, and we will see that the window is bigger. I mean, this is just a scaled down version of the dot for duty use. The window doesn't cantilever over the optic, so it's kind of shorter front to back. Similarly, shares that Deltapoint Pro footprint. It has a screw top battery compartment similar to the SRO, but the buttons are the same, the windage and elevation adjustments are the same, and all the emitter tech is the same, but the XL is just much, much bigger. The ST is about $80 less, which is nice, but this one's better for competition. If you were setting up a competition gun, I would give the nod to the XL. Moving over to the king of competition, the SRO, it was introduced about 5 years ago or so, and it kind of is the standard everything is measured against. The optics are roughly the same size. The buttons are better on the XL. The turret adjustments are roughly similar. I would give a slight nod to the Trijicon turrets just because they're a little bit bigger and easier to adjust with brass. The battery system is superior on the XL. The glass clarity, the dot crispness are both superior on the XL, so I would actually give the nod to the XL over the SRO. If you factor in the fact that SROs cost about $100 more than the XL, I definitely give the nod to the XL. Looking at the old king of competition, the Deltapoint Pro, everything's pretty much better on the XL. The windows are comparably sized, the glass clarity is roughly similar. There are bigger reticle options on the XL, but there are finer reticle options on the Deltapoint. The base is just a little bit thinner. The battery drawer is superior on the XL. The shroud is superior. Deltapoint Pro, I've broken by banging it on stuff accidentally. It's one of the more fragile, duty grade sort of optics. The XL looks much, much beefier. Whether it actually holds up, time will tell. From a price perspective, the Deltapoint Pros are selling for roughly the same price as the XL. I would give the nod to the XL in this case. The Holosun 507 comp is another big window optic that doesn't cantilever over the ejection port. It's on the RMR footprint. It is in the same ballpark as price as the XL. The glass is much more distorted on the 507 comp. It has a multi-reticle system, which I prefer the simple reticles of the XL, but some people really like the circle dot setup, in which case the 507 comp is going to be more to your liking. The turrets are superior on the XL because they adjust with a case rim or a car key, whereas you have to use a small screwdriver on the 507 comp. The battery drawer on the 507 comp has 2 screws you have to back out, and you have a 1632 battery, which won't have as much battery life as the 2032. Really, the choice in this segment is going to come down to your choice in reticle and which one you prefer, or if you have an RMR or Deltapoint Pro footprint. If I had the option between the two, I'd probably pick the XL just because I like the bigger reticle of the 8 MOA, which this one is. And on the budget end of the spectrum is the Swampfox Justice II. The Justice II window is just a little bit bigger, but not really in a meaningful way. It has a similar cantilever forward window. The glass is cleaner on the XL. The reticles, I would say, are roughly similar between the two. The turrets on the Swampfox have to be adjusted with a jeweler tip screwdriver, which kind of sucks. And it has a battery door that is on top of the optic, and you have to use a Torx bit to get it open. That all said, the Justice II costs roughly half of what the Defender XL is going to cost. The Defender XL is nicer pretty much in every dimension than the Justice II, but the Justice II gets the job done as well, and it's mighty affordable at just under 200 bucks. Then stepping up to the unicorn, the Sig Romeo 3 Max Pro. This is the new version of the optic that is on the Deltapoint Pro footprint, and this is the nicest competition sight in the game currently. It has the biggest window, it is made in America now, and it has the lowest deck height of any of the choices, which puts the window with a shallow slide cut right on top of the slide. It's available with a couple different reticle sizes, but this is the 8 MOA option, and the emitter is a little bit crisper on the Max, and the glass is much cleaner and completely distortion free, where while this is also an aspherical lens, there's still just a tiny bit of distortion with the XL. That said, the turrets are adjusted with a tool on the Max, which isn't my favorite thing in the world, but the battery drawer similarly is secured by 2 screws on the side and requires that same tool to open them. The Max is the better optic between the two from just kind of like a feature standpoint. It's just higher quality and it costs twice as much. So it's about 700 bucks to the Vortex XL's $400 price. It's a ton of money. It's a super gorgeous sight. This one's got over 1,000 rounds on it. We'll see how it continues to hold up, but the XL is doing all the same stuff with a higher deck height and half the cost. So both are good choices. This one just costs a lot more. So the Defender XL and really the Defender ST is a big step forward from what the Vortex pistol optics sort of used to be. They're bigger, they're durable, and Vortex has moved on from just like, but they've got a great warranty to they've got the right features at a good price. While the price is still expensive, it doesn't break the entire bank, just a good chunk of it. And I'm glad to see that there are more good options on the Deltapoint Pro footprint that are coming out. I think the Defender XL is definitely a solid dot that you should check out. You can check out the Defender XL in the game Ace, like I mentioned, and see what that sight picture looks like. That's kind of cool because they keep modeling new guns and new optics, so you can kind of see what an optic sight picture would look like virtually, which is really cool. If you want to learn more about the Romeo 3 Max Pro, you can check it out in this video, or you can check out the video on the P320 X5 SXG here.